Okay, in this video, I'm going to look at solving another nonlinear inequality, but this time we've got three factors in it. Sorry, I kind of changed settings here. The other videos were at the school. This one is at my house. So I am going to do this one just on the whiteboards here. So, I have here an example. This is one that's pretty similar to one in your book. And we're trying to figure out where this is greater than 0. Okay, so again, this is pretty similar to what we were doing before. What we want to do first is we just figure out, well, where does this equal 0? So that if I can figure out where it equals 0, then that's where it could change from working to not working and vice versa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this equal to 0. Now the only ways you can get 0 is if one of the factors was 0, right? In this case I have 3 factors here instead of just 2 like I normally do. So one of the factors could give me 0. This first one could give me 0 if x equals 0, right? I just set that equal to 0. Okay. This one would give me 0 if x minus 6 was 0, which would happen when x equals 6, right? And then lastly, this factor here, this would equal 0 when x would be equal to -2, right? So those are the 3 places where this could equal 0. Okay, but we weren't really looking for equaling 0 in the end, right? We're looking for bigger than 0. So what we do is we take those numbers and we put them on our number line. So we've got like zeros in the middle here. We've got -2 over here. And we've got 6 over here. I'm just sketching. This is not to scale. But we know that those are the places where it could change from working and not working. Those are the kind of boundary points. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick some numbers around those other numbers to figure out what pieces of the number line actually work. Okay, so let's pick something over here. So something less than -2. Maybe we'll just do -3. We'll plug that in and see if that works. Okay, into our original thing, we're going to have -3 times -3 minus -6, and then -3 plus 2. And we're wondering, is that greater than 0? Okay, that's what we're wondering there. And so when I do this, -3 times, well, that's going to be a negative number. For the greater than 0 case, all I really need to know is if I'm going to have a negative number or a positive number, right? So this number right here, -3 is negative. This one is going to be negative as well, right? -3 minus -6, that's going to be negative, okay? And then -3 plus 2 is also going to be negative. So I have negative times negative times negative. That's going to be negative, right? I've got 3 negatives times each other. That'll be negative. So this doesn't work, okay? It's not going to be greater than 0. So it doesn't work, okay? So over here, not good, okay? Doesn't work, okay? So let's try in between 0 and -2. Okay, so we'll maybe try like -1 in there and see if that one will work. Okay, so I'm going to plug that into the equation. -1 times -1 minus 6, and then -1 plus 2 is greater than 0. And we're wondering if this is true. Well, again, I'm just going to look at the signs on this and see what works. Oh, you can't. There's a glare. Let me adjust that. Nope. If I can get my lamp to stay in a steady spot. That's, I think, a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to look at the signs again. This first one is negative, right? -1 minus -6, that's going to be negative. negative 1 plus positive 2, that's going to be positive. So we've got negative, negative, positive. So two negatives and a positive times each other is going to be positive. So that works. Okay, that's true. So it is going to work in here. So in here, it's going to work. That's going to be great. Okay, so it works there. Okay, let's try another number and see if this is going to work as well. So in between 0 and 6, what could we do? Well, maybe I'll just do 1 because that's a nice number. I'll just plug in 1. Okay, so 1 for x, get 1 minus 6, 1 plus 2. Okay, we're wondering, is that greater than or equal to 0? Okay, well, when I do 1 times, that's a positive. This is going to be a negative number. Positive times negative is negative. And then times another positive is going to be negative, right? We've got positive, positive, negative, positive, right? So a positive times a negative, that's going to give us negative. So that's not going to work right there, okay? And then lastly, something bigger than 6. So I don't know, 7. We'll plug in 7. Okay. Notice this is positive. This is going to be also positive. This is going to be positive. So positive times positive times positive, that is going to be positive, right? So that's going to work over there. So altogether, the places that are going to work are this part right here, right, and this part right here, okay? And I'm not going to be at the boundary points because there's not a greater than or equal to underneath that 0. So there's just going to be holes at the boundary, okay? So in total, my answer is going to go from -2 over to 0 with parentheses on those because I'm not including them because we're not greater than or equal to, and then from 6 to infinity. Okay, and that would be our answer there. Okay, so hopefully that helps with that one. You can try the homework problem on this, and I'll see you in the next video.